Thanks for listening to Middle Aged and Mediocre. I'm Cash.
I'm Joel.
And we are a podcast about all things strange and unusual, death and UFOs, and other creepy,
cults,
weird, random
ghosts.
There you go.
Yeah. Not just naming things in the room.
Oh my god.
There's a cult of ghosts.
And we are back. Middle-aged mediocre. I am Cash.
I'm Joel.
If you didn't remember.
Yeah.
If you forgot our names.
It's been 2 weeks.
That's Joel. A lot of things are going on.
A lot of things.
A lot of things are happening in the middle-aged mediocre our world. So this week we don't have like the little fancy intro of like two people go to a creek and find a dead body. We don't have anything like that.
I want to hear the rest of that story.
They poke it with sticks.
Oh!
Turns out they were just taking a nap.
Oh.
So we solved that case. No dead body. A creek nap. So yeah, this week, instead of really preparing a story, Joel's just going to like tell us a story.
I did not prepare for
but
this.
it involves murder.
Yeah.
So, and it's like him up close and personal.
Little slice of my personal life.
Yeah, so
from the past.
We'll get into that in a little bit. Before that, though, a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, so Joel's got a new house.
Yeah.
So he's been moving into that.
I got a home.
He's got a home. It's got a roof.
It's got a roof and walls.
How many bathrooms?
One bathroom.
Okay, so you're still living that humble life.
Yeah, I'm within my means.
You're within your means.
I mean, there are two sinks though, so I can pee into a sink. I'm tall enough.
Man, that's getting a little fancy. You got 2 rugs.
Yeah, I got some new rugs.
I don't know who you think
really
you are.
ties the rooms together.
The
2 rooms.
Yeah, so you've been busy doing that.
I've been moving, working every day, then trying to move with the car. Just filled up my car with junk and.
Yeah, so that's why we weren't around last weekend.
Yep.
I was going to do like a episode where I just read a couple horror stories from the internet, and then what happened was I forgot I was going to do that.
I saw your post, and I never saw anything come out, and I didn't want to ask you about it, except for you've been busy.
I'm in the process of getting a new job, but yeah, I just completely forgot that I was going to do that until like Sunday.
Life's a horror show, so horror stories.
Right.
So
I was just like, well, let's delete those posts and just pretend like they never happened.
Like they're going to show up in court one day. Like the middle-aged and mediocre listeners are going to sue us and be like, we were waiting for that episode of Josh reading horror stories.
Hey, you never know. You never know, man.
Schmarsh could get a law degree.
There's a lot.
While he's on his boat.
There's a lot of weird things happening in the world. You never know. Speaking of weird things that are happening in the world, I was going to bring up a couple things. I'm sure you've heard about the giant boat.
Yeah, in the Suez
Canal.
Canal.
The Suez Canal.
It's 10% of the world's imports right now.
It's apparently, I forget how much money a day it's costing people.
Yeah, it's crazy. And to go around the Cape of Africa, it's like 2 weeks longer than to just go through that canal.
Yeah, so they're saying right now, it's the Suez Canal itself is a conduit for 12% of the entire world's trade.
Wow.
An average of 50 ships pass through Suez every day, starting in the early morning.
Austin powered his boat in the middle of the hallway. Remember that with the little cart?
Oh, I remember well.
That's what I think of when I see that boat.
So it says there's $10 billion worth of goods on this boat. The boat is called... It's from the Evergreen Company, and it's called like Ever Given.
Ever Given, yeah. I just watched a news story on it.
But so yeah, it was more than 300 ships carrying products were in gridlock at the time. But yeah, now they started going and they're trying to go around. It was gonna, but it's insane, man.
Taking so much more fuel, so fuel prices are probably gonna go up. Thanks a lot, Biden. Yeah. You think Trump would have let that boat get sideways in there? Trump doesn't even understand boats, but he would have stopped it from happening.
He would have just came out and said, like, The boat's going to be fine.
No one understands boats more than I understand boats.
I'm a boater. The boat's going to be gone by April. Just don't worry about it. The weather's going to come out. The boat's going to go away.
It's huge. It is a big boat. Like, I'm looking at these things. I don't even understand how they control them anyway. I guess there was a sandstorm while it was trying to get through the canal. And
yeah, it says a desert wind.
The pilot was getting head or something like that.
I didn't, like, you're looking at it. So I like, here's like the picture. I'm telling Joel.
Yeah,
like, I'm not telling you guys.
You can see it from space, right? I think I saw something else about that. Maybe
so
not.
I'm guessing just like the wind just kind of like made it turn. So we're looking at it here, and it looks like it was going like north, let's say.
Yeah.
And then it looks like the wind just sort of like knocked it a little east. And it just like brrr, like hit the thing and it was done. Like
it hit some sand and now it's done. It's stuck in there. And they're saying it could be like weeks before they get it moving again.
I can't believe they never. This has just never happened before.
Yeah, like why can't Superman come down and like push the tip of the boat like forward?
I don't think Superman's real.
Whoa!
So
stop
I said it.
All of the recording. That just seems like something where Superman could really help.
Yeah, I mean,
he's kind of being selfish by not helping.
Yeah, it would be nice if like God would just reach his arm down and just be like, and whoop.
Get off your ass, God.
Yeah,
I said it.
Boop. Set it back.
I called you out.
Yeah, come on, God. Do something.
Oh, no, don't say that.
I said it. I already said it.
It's on wax.
I've said it a lot of times.
Yeah, do something. You challenge God to fights all the time. Do something. Hit me first, God.
I do. There's a really great horror movie series about a character named Coffin Joe. Coffin.
Okay.
Not like Joe.
Not caffeine, but like
Coffin Joe.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in the first movie. I forget the names of the movies now. I don't have the brain power for this, but it's just him at the end. It's like this. It's an amazing scene, but it's him at the end, just like screaming, like on a balcony.
Yeah.
It's pissing the rain down, the wind's blowing. He's just like screaming at God, challenging him to a fight to prove he's real, or whatever.
They stole that from Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dan.
This movie came out a little before.
Okay,
yeah, a little before
Forrest Gump
Gump
stole it from them.
Yeah,
remember Lieutenant Dan
remember
did that. Lieutenant Dan, them your magic legs.
Wow. So more that just proves God's not real. Here's another story.
We're really challenging. Oh man.
So
we got heat with God.
Here's the headline for this thing.
Okay.
Strange distant space object is sending out ultra-low frequency radio signals. Researchers say the object looks like a cosmic jellyfish. So, like, they somehow use the radio signals to, like...
So they announced, like, aliens were real last year, right?
Yeah.
And now it's just... They're sending signals and stuff.
So now I'm wondering, like, is everything just bullshit? Like... Is it all just bullshit?
Like, I think it is all bullshit.
So they just figured out, they just have a way to look at this thing, and they're like, oh yeah, we can now just map out the radio waves, and that's a jellyfish alien thing. Like, what are we doing anymore?
What's the sound waves or whatever saying?
Like, what's the frequency, Kenneth?
Yeah, what's the frequency, Kenneth?
So researchers have detected ultra-low radio frequencies being emitted from a jellyfish-shaped object.
It's depressed?
In a distant galaxy
I feel like
cluster.
I'm a depressed jellyfish.
That's
good.
The mysterious object is located 340 million light years from Earth in the galaxy cluster Abel 2877. None of that's real.
You made it all up.
None of that's real.
You made it all up. Prove it.
340 million light years, not real.
I believe in God more than I believe in that shit.
We looked at the data, and as we turned down the frequency, we saw a ghostly jellyfish-like structure begin to emerge.
It's like they're just throwing darts of like a wall full of words.
Well,
and they're like, what's this next story going to be, guys?
To further prove that, it says, hopefully we won't have to wait long until the researchers discover more about the cosmic jellyfish, since construction on the new Square Kilometer Array, or SCA, like, they're just like, let's call it ska.
Ska.
Like, that's a good music genre. Let's just go with that. It'll make the nerds happy. So, yeah, that's their new...
Nerds.
And they think that they're going to be able to, like, find it or something.
They're going to capture a cosmic jellyfish?
Like, just what's going on anymore?
They're there's people homeless. Like, use this money for something.
Can we not just do something for people?
Like, we have to sleep under a bridge. Like, we're talking to cosmic jellyfish, okay?
We're trying to make
keep
contact.
it down underneath that goddamn bridge?
The cosmic jellyfish isn't begging for a home.
Yeah.
Loser.
Well, you go millions of light years away.
Yeah, I just, at a certain point, we just got to step back and be like, hey, anything real? Is any of this shit real?
None of it sounds real. It's too much technology. I feel so old saying that. You dang kids in your dang cosmic jellyfish.
Just real quick, any more news that we should...
I can't think of any, but I've been so busy moving. Has that made any news sites?
Oh, let me see here.
Joel's house?
Gant moving. No.
Damn.
Somehow not. Have you seen the new... Let's talk about some random shit. Have you seen the new...
You just said my last name. Man, it's right there.
Have you seen
People in
new,
Australia are going to be looking me up.
And there's not a lot to find, I don't think.
No.
Let's Google you right now.
Oh. I have some really bad sets on YouTube that I need to find out how to take down. My first comedy set.
There is a... Oh, yeah, you got some good press on here. Comedian Joel Gant collects food for Parkersburg pantries.
Well, look at me.
Look at that. Look at that.
That was a whole other lifetime ago.
You got your Frames Etc. LinkedIn thing here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Did you even know that?
No.
Okay.
Delete that off the internet now.
I didn't make it. I can't delete it. That's not how the internet works. It doesn't show. It just says you're an optician.
Huh.
It doesn't have a picture of you. It doesn't really have anything else.
Good.
Any more information?
Good.
There's another Joel Gant who's a fishing charter captain.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Oh, have you?
On YouTube, yeah.
What?
Because if I'd go to YouTube and look like for my comedy or
Yeah.
where I sang to my wife at our wedding, that was on YouTube for a minute. I don't know if it still is or not.
We can find out. You just type in Joel Gant?
Joel sings to Laura. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's me singing a song from the Juno soundtrack to my then wife at our wedding.
I don't know if this is it or not.
It's really grainy video. That's it. Oh.
All right, that's it. So we can't play the audio. But...
You'll watch it later, and you'll have one single tear roll down your cheek as you think about all the love lost between us and the potential that was there and how now it's all just gone and life is just nothing but just me being a depressed jellyfish.
Cosmic jellyfish.
Yeah, but there was that one time I sang it to my wife at our wedding.
Yeah, you got, here's your Wiley's Comedy Club.
Oh, that's probably a really bad set.
From September 28th, 2014.
All my sets were bad.
2014?
Yeah, I've been in the game
Holy
for a
shit.
minute, son. I've been in the game for a minute.
I
haven't done comedy in over a year.
There's another one on here. So, yeah, you guys can go YouTube, Joel Gant.
Come to my house and Google me, just get hands-on.
Yeah, that's on, you have your own channel.
I have my own channel.
Yeah, it's got 2 videos. Your 2 performances at Wiley's.
And the other one's not linked to me, but I'm on there singing to my
Yeah, and then that was on there, too. All right, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I'm on IMDb, too.
So, since this is all about you.
All about me.
What are we getting into today? What's this?
I was 20 years ago,
So
I was on a jury. Well, it was 2002.
Okay.
So 19 years ago.
Okay.
We're rounding up, because it just sounds more dramatic to say 20 years
ago.
Yeah.
2 decades ago.
2 decades. Dos decades.
No staccatos.
That sounds really good. I don't know what it is, but waiter, I'll have a dos staccato, please.
Can I get dos staccatos with some chalupa sauce?
Yeah. No, I was on a murder trial. I was a juror on a murder trial. And it was a pretty neat experience. I just started my job at Frames Etc. So that's why, I can remember what year it was, because that was 2002. I was still in the back lab, and I got a call at work from the sheriff's department that I'd been chosen for jury duty, and I was like, hell yeah, a week off of work. Yeah. And they paid $40 a day or something like that. I couldn't remember exactly, But I went down, and it was just to get picked. It was quite the experience. There's a lot of people there, and
So let's set the scene real quick. This is in Parkersburg.
Yep,
This is where we're from. We are. If you're listening to us and you're not from around here, you don't really know us. We live in Parkersburg, so this is taking place in Parkersburg, our hometown. 2002. You get the call. You have jury duty. So, do they tell you anything else about it, or just how you need to show up?
Just come down for jury duty.
So you show up, and
I was told, all jury duties, you're going to hear 7 or 8 different cases. I guess there's different kinds, where you can do, like, you're a juror all day, and, like, you just hear all these, like, little, rinky-dink, like, drunk driving cases or just stuff like that, that they need the jury for.
Like misdemeanor shit.
Yeah.
So you show up, like, how many people, or else?
Probably 40 people maybe or so in the courtroom.
And they're going to whittle it down to 12,
yeah,
12 of you.
They asked a bunch of questions just basically about, like, our, if you have alcoholism in your family, raise your hand. If you, I don't remember everything because it was so long ago, but I just remember it centered a lot around that. Just, do you think, if you are an alcoholic, should you be held accountable for the things that, just trying to figure out what kind of people you are. Yeah. And I thought I would be sent home right away because I was the youngest person there, probably. But I made it through all the cuts and everything, and then found out I was on the dream team. I made the jury, and that's when we found out it was going to be a murder trial. And
so you don't find out what it is until you've been picked?
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, we meet, like, they kind of I think that was just the first day it was getting picked. And I think we went back, and that's, like, when the trial started.
So, I've never been picked for jury duty. I've always kind of, like, I think I'd always would have had the same mindset as you. Like, all right, I'll take it. I'll take the time off work.
Yeah,
and get a few bucks.
A lot of people always like, I gotta get out of jury duty.
Yeah, I've never understood why people want to get out.
I was just honest with everything, and like I said, I figured I wouldn't get picked for it, but
right. So you get picked. And when do they, like, so then they kind of tell you, like, hey, this is what's going on, or you don't know until the trial starts?
No, after we get picked is when, I think both we were in a room with both the lawyers and stuff, like all the jury and stuff, and just, I think they went over because what the trial was we weren't figuring out guilt. Like, the guy was already guilty of killing his wife. It was, do we give him life in prison with no possibility for parole, or do we give him leniency and give him chance of parole?
So here's what we are talking about today, as soon as I can figure out how to zoom in here. Okay, so I'll just read you the little news story we found. There really wasn't, I looked all over the damn internet, there's hardly anything about this. Which, like you said,
there's more of me on the internet than this story.
There's more of you than this story.
Somebody come kill me!
Like, I'm honestly surprised there's not a news article about you doing jury duty.
Yeah, local optician.
So, a Parkersburg man this morning was charged with the murder of his ex-wife during an incident police said was a murder then attempted suicide that occurred earlier this week. Paul Varner Jr., 39 years old at the time of this happening, was to be arraigned today in Wood County Magistrate Court for the murder of Reba Jan Varner, age 40. Parkersburg Captain Steve Holland, commander of the Parkersburg Police Detective Bureau, said, that's what he said, that he was being arraigned today. Varner was charged following his release from Camden Clark Memorial Hospital, where he was admitted Monday for stab wounds to the stomach area. Varner at one point was in serious condition, a hospital spokesman said. Police were dispatched to the residence shortly after midnight Monday, where they found Jan Varner lying on the floor of her living room, dead from the wounds caused by a knife. Varner had stab wounds to his abdomen and was on the telephone speaking to the 911 center when police arrived. The incident apparently was domestic related. However, the investigation is continuing. Police believe Varner stabbed his wife, then himself. And then it goes on to talk about the services for Jan Varner. She was a decorator at Fenton Art Glass in Williamstown and had worked for Dudley's Florist. So this guy then goes on to be charged and found guilty of murder. And then at some point before, we don't know. The only thing I could find on this was where the Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia, where he was appealing the sentence, the charges, the conviction. He was convicted of first-degree murder, and he appealed that by saying that he was denied trial by a fair and impartial jury because one of the jurors had been involved with. She worked at Camden Clark, and she apparently was stealing and selling prescription
That
medicine.
must have been the trial before mine, because I didn't follow up afterwards, but I don't remember anybody working at Camden Clark or anything.
So it seems like he got a second trial, was found guilty once again, and now after that, it's come to you guys for sentencing. Is what it seems like is going on here. So you guys got him after a second trial, I think, where he was found guilty again. So now we got to sentence him. He was originally convicted for first-degree murder without a recommendation of mercy. So I would assume that means like
no parole.
No parole, yeah. So and then that got reversed. Whatever, he got a new trial. So
and then I was part of the new trial. So, yeah.
So all right, so you're sitting there, and like when the trial starts, like. So they just go through like everything basically, right?
Yeah, from beginning to end. I mean, their family were there in the gallows watching, and just because he tried to say it was just like a moment of passion that he killed her, and I mean it had like their friends like as they were a married couple, like they had their friends at the time was like, well, we were four-wheeling and. He kept saying, watch yourself or I'm going to OJ you. And, like, he would, like, do, like, the throat slash motion towards her. And, like, this is, like, their daughter was on one of their daughters. They had two daughters. One of the daughters took the stand, to, like, talk about times where, like, the dad got too drunk. And, he's just... And that day, actually, he was at the bar watching NASCAR. So was Dale alive then?
That was probably about two. That was about the time Dale died.
2000 though, it probably happened because the trial was 2002, so she probably got killed the year before. So I don't know what that doesn't have anything to do with it, but
you think?
But there are people from the bar that day they brought in that just the interview that he was at the bar talking about it, and just he was not happy with being split up and not having his wife. He probably wanted to control her.
Yeah.
He's obviously an asshole. I mean, this fucking guy, making threats towards her, saying he's going to OJ her. But he didn't take the stand, but a lot of the friends, the daughter, like I said, it showed, they showed a video where it was like showing the inside of the house. Oh, and they didn't warn us about anything. And they're like just showing like the front door and kind of living room. And they just like pan over and her body's just laying there. So I mean, you got to you saw I seen a dead body.
Were you like?
I was taking a bunch of notes. They encouraged us to take notes, gave us notebooks. I couldn't. I think we had to turn our notebooks in. I couldn't find them. Yeah, but I took a lot of notes. I took it really seriously. It was because it kind of hit home to me a little bit because my parents were splitting up, and my dad was he liked to drink beer. He it was never like violent like that. But I mean, what keeps one relationship from turning this way and makes Jan and Paul's go that way. It's just
because I don't know.
And my dad's name is Jan, and that's the lady's that's the lady's name that died. So I mean, it was just always kind of a weird kind of deal for me.
So it's because it sounds like it probably wasn't premeditated, but he definitely had it in him.
The knife he used was a giant butcher knife that he had in his car. He claimed so he could fix his battery because that's what you try to fix your battery with. You think he was driving around with knives? Yeah, I think he was going over there, and it was pretty violent too. Like the prosecuting attorney was really good. Named Jenny Conley, I believe was her name. She was just super, but she just talked about. I mean, stabbed her like 3 or 4 times. Stabbed her so deep that the blade nicked her breastbone. And they showed autopsy pictures of her, just on the table with all her wounds and everything. And it was you get her sister up there crying, the daughter crying. I mean, it was an emotional, a family being torn apart, and this is the second time now that they've had to go on through it.
Yeah.
Because they went through the first one, and now they have to do it again.
This sounds like kind of the third time.
Yeah, the third. Yeah, so this would have been the third time.
If he got a second trial.
Yeah, because he got guilty, found guilty, got it without mercy, so now they were doing it again to see about, sentencing or whatever. It went a whole week of 6 hours a day, doing testimony. We'd get a break. I'd go to lunch, and I'd see like the defense attorney like there at the cafe. I'm like, oh, I can't look at him. Is he looking at me? He better not be looking at me.
So, like, speaking of like looking at people, so while you're there, are you like as a jury person, are you like looking at him?
Yeah,
dude, and just kind of watching to see. Like, does that play a role?
Yeah, oh yeah. Watching like how he would respond to. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's just. I like to watch people anyway.
Yeah.
Like that was my job. I felt like to watch, to just take it all in, and just watch like how he react when his daughter's up there talking about like, how devastated she is that her mom's dead and like her fucking dad killed her.
Right.
And it's just.
So when you, So when they, like, I'm sure they tell you, I mean, like, they clearly have told you, like, he's been found guilty, we're here to determine whatever.
Yeah.
So, like...
Well, I mean, yeah, they found him at the house bleeding because he tried to do the old, like you say, tried to kill her and then kill himself, and then he ran out. He didn't quite have the gumption to kill himself.
Right.
A lot easier to kill the defenseless woman, but...
But seeing as how, like, you've already... So, like, you and the other jury members are there to determine, is he going to get life without parole? Is he going to get life with
Basically,
parole?
do we think that was premeditated, or... I can't remember why he said he went over there that night. I can't.
So, like, what kind of, like... So, as soon as you're told, he's been found guilty, so we're here to determine sentencing or whatever, like, is it hard to not immediately just be like... This dude's a murderer, like,
yeah,
put him, like, or, like, how much, like, of your emotions are in play? Like, do you have, like, emotions kicking in, or are you just sort of like, I'm here to listen to the facts? Let's listen to the facts.
I didn't feel too emotional. I mean, seeing, like, that dead body was kind of shook you up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think I probably was definitely on the side of, they would have had to convince me more that he deserved possibility of parole than I was probably already a foot on that side of, like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Like, especially once the trial started, just hearing just how he would treat her and, like, just what people seen, too. So, it had to be worse behind closed doors.
So how was he, like, how would he act throughout everything?
He's pretty stoic. Like I said, he didn't take the stand or anything, so he just pretty much sat there, and he would do the old whisper to the defense attorney, and...
Man, it blows my mind. Anytime I'm watching...
He would just kind of, like, look down. Like, I never saw him cry or anything.
Yeah.
Or...
Just anytime I'm watching footage from, like, a trial, and somebody's on trial for murder, or, like, they've already been convicted of murder, so now it's, like, to have the... I don't know, maybe it's, like, something, like, if you... I don't know if it's because you're guilty. I don't know if it's, like, what it is that keeps you from just not just, like, freaking out the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, you're staring down life.
Yeah. And
you, like, I would just be, like...
I would be
trying everything in my fucking power to, like, stop the proceedings.
Escape. Or do something.
Like, how long can I draw this out?
Yeah.
Like, the longer we're here, you're
not spending the rest of your life inside a cell. I mean,
like, if we can keep prolonging this, there's a shot.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it just blows my mind how people can just sit there and just, like, take everything in.
And maybe after doing so much of it, like, by that time is what we say is this third time doing it now,
So, it takes a week?
Yeah, it took a week, and they did all the closing arguments and everything, and then that was Easter weekend. So I think we took, like, we're going to take that Monday off and go again on Tuesday. And then we got in Tuesday, and there had been talk, apparently over the weekend, because, like, the foreperson that we chose was, like, some lady who worked locally for the FBI.
Okay.
And she and I know because she mentioned it daily. Like, it would be, it wasn't like, oops, I found out she was very, I don't know.
Introduced herself as like, hi, I work for the FBI.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she was like a uppity kind of lady, I would put it. But she, like, was talking to her husband about it or something and started feeling guilty that because we were supposed to discuss it outside. Like, me and Mike were in our first place that we shared together, just us. And he got kicked out of it. This is my cousin Mike. He would, like, get up early in the morning. We had the paper delivered to our house. And he would, like, read it and then cut out the articles that had to do with, like, the murder and stuff. Yeah. And
so you weren't, like, staying at a hotel this whole time?
No, we weren't. Yeah, we weren't
sequestered.
Easy for you to say.
You weren't circumcised.
Put me on trial for being a dumbass. Yeah.
Guilty.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it is clear as day.
He's a dum-dum. But this lady got guilty about it and was like...
She was telling her husband what was going on.
Yeah, so she wanted to have a special, like, sit down with the judge to tell the judge. And, like, all this got back to Paul. And they were like, well, now we got to do this again. Because now, the juror's been contaminated because the husband's been telling her about the story,
There's a taint in the jury.
Yeah.
She's from the FBI,
It was a smelly taint.
She don't remember.
So Paul got word of this, and he just decided to I don't know if he pled it or how he did, but he took life without the possibility of parole. Because that was like the one cool, I guess, stand-up thing he did. He didn't want to put his daughter, like all the family, like just the thought of like maybe having to do this again. He, decided to do one decent thing in his life, and he just took life in prison.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's him finally just accepting, like, yes, I did this. And
yeah.
Or like if it's just because he didn't, does he still try to maintain his innocence? But he's like, but I didn't want to put my daughter through it again.
Yeah, like I was totally drunk. I wasn't in control. Like,
right.
Well, fucking.
Yeah.
Like I've been drunk lots of times. I've never been violent. I've never, it's just.
Like, as far as you know, you've never killed a dude.
No.
Or a woman.
I mean, like my self-confidence, sure. I'll stand. I'll trample that down every time I get a buzz on. But
so he basically did your guys' job for you.
Yeah. We were all gonna. I think we were.
Do you think it would have been the same?
Because we did get to because that's what I was really looking forward to was like that part of the being in the jury room and like just like arguing, not arguing, but just like
discussing what.
Discussing the whole case, and we got to do that for like half hour that Friday, but then it got to be time to leave, so it was like, all right, well, don't talk about this to anybody. And at the beginning of the trial, they said it was close to where we were going to have to be in a hotel.
Oh.
Because they didn't want to happen what happened the first time. But
it is surprising that
But they didn't force it, and Miss FBI had a fucking conscious attack. And it's like, ladies, like, just come on. Like, why'd you have to ruin it?
But
I was a little let down.
You're fairly confident, though, that it would have went the same way?
Yeah. Because we weren't buying that shit, man.
Yeah.
You can't, like, talk about how you're going to do that. And, and it just felt awful for that lady. I mean, just to be in a relationship where she probably was underneath that guy's thumb for so long.
Oh, yeah.
She finally gets away, gets her own place, and, like, this guy just can't just fucking let her.
He can't live knowing that.
Like, if I can't have you, nobody will. Basically that.
Well, just that she got one on him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that control anymore.
And I mean, I'm going through a divorce, and I don't. I wouldn't ever. I've never. It's just I don't see it. Like, why can't you just it's just relationships are weird, man. I guess that's like how bad a relationship can go, though.
I do wonder.
I've been in some bad ones, but never quite that.
I do wonder. So, like, a guy, like, if you're not a guy, you're on a jury, and for sentencing, and I do wonder if so you're presented with what you were presented with, which was, life with the possibility of parole, or life with no possibility. I wonder how much different, how much easier it is for people to be like, let's just go with the life with the possibility of parole.
Because really, even with the possibility, I'm sure he would have had to done 20, 25 years.
Because you're still looking at
and he's 40, so yeah, he'd be 65. And who says he wouldn't get more charges while he was locked up?
So I do wonder if sometimes it's easier for a jury to be like, let's just go with this one. Like, that way we don't have to feel like we...
Yeah. I was ready to feel that.
Right. Yeah, I would...
Fuck Paul Varner.
I would love to go be on a jury.
I've never been called back or sent back or anything since. I must have broke a record, or they were like, well, he
broke a record.
He was the best juror ever.
I don't think people usually do. I don't think people usually get multiple...
It's probably I haven't been back to the courthouse, but I'm sure there's a plaque down there.
I'm sure. Like a bust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so the show we used to do called What's Going On, where we had our buddy Freebird.
Yeah.
He was sat on a jury for a murder trial too.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
In St. Mary's.
Oh.
So, you lucky bastards.
Yeah. And now he's having a kid just like I did.
He's just that dumb bastard.
He's gonna lose his hair next. Just do something original, Freebird. He's not listening to this.
No,
do something original. Oh, you're on a murder trial. Oh, you're having a kid. Oh, you're bald. No, I don't think he is.
No.
He's got glorious.
He's got
hair.
that good hair. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
he
does have his hair. He did cut most of it.
He cut it. It's not as long.
He still has that.
The power's still
son
there.
of a bitch.
Still gives him that swagger when he walks, you know.
Son of a bitch
I know,
bastard.
man. With your swagger.
And then you got us.
That's what's going on.
Struggling. Gotta wear hats. Yep. I gotta shave my head soon. I'm just like, that's how lazy I am. I'm just like, I don't even want to bother.
Hats are so easy, though.
Just gonna put a hat on.
Yep. And I thought about today. I was like, I should shave my head today. I was like, or I could just wear a hat.
Or hats.
I mean, that's 10 minutes I'll never get back.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, but it's 10 minutes of that, and you gotta like sweep up all the hair. It's a lot. It's 12 minutes of work.
Yeah.
You know.
That's too much.
And that's 12 minutes.
I'm worn out just listening to that. I can't do it.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I wish I could be on a jury. It sounds like it's a very interesting.
I love Law and Order, so I love being on a jury.
Was there anything like, I guess, was there any like moments during the whole process that you were like, that's like from the that's like if like if you're watching a movie or TV show?
I'm sure there was like some objections. Like I said, that Jenny Conley, I loved watching her work. Like she was just so good about just. She would just call Paul on bullshit or like, you know, like a whatever the witness that they tried to put forward, you know, just she was a real ball buster.
Was there anything that kind of stood out as like, other than, hey, here's a dead body, was there anything that was like unexpected or
just that dead body part?
I
just wasn't. I was like, all right, well, here's the scene. We're gonna see some of it. Oh, there she is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they'd have to show you because that's, I mean,
how she fell.
That'd go into your determination. Because I know some of them, like, they'll walk you through the actual crime scene.
They talked about that too. They were like, well, we're going to show you the video, but they said while we were in the room trying to what's it called again?
Deliberate.
Yeah, while we were deliberating, they said if we wanted, we could request to be taken.
You go. Yeah, I think you have to request that. If you can't come to you need that to help.
Like we want to go visit the crime scene and things like that. Of course, Miss FBI done fucked it up.
Fucking FBI.
Fucking FBI.
Always fucking up everything.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I mean,
now we're on a watch list. We're on so many watch lists.
Yeah.
What's one more?
Well, I mean, it's been. Yeah.
I just hope we get on some listen lists. Because we're a podcast.
Put us on your listen list. We're on something now called Verbal. VURBL.
My nephew has a friend named Verbal. That's his name.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, we're on his site now.
Okay, cool.
I have no idea. Like, it's a newer thing, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I claimed our podcast. It was already on there, so I claimed it.
People are fighting over us.
Apparently,
sites are fighting.
I mean, it was pretty easy. It was pretty easy to claim, but
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can help us by if you're listening right now on Apple Podcast, give us 5 stars in the rating and leave us a review where you can just say anything you want in the review.
Yep.
Does not matter. It could just be you hitting the keys on the what's this thing called?
Keyboard.
Yep. There it is.
It's a whole board of keys.
It's a whole board of keys. You can just do that. Doesn't
Tell
matter.
us why you like the FBI.
Yeah, or don't, or why you hate the FBI. We appreciate both.
Tell us if you've been on a juror.
A rural juror.
I was a rural juror.
All right, well, so, that's we're pretty much coming up with the 20-year anniversary of because Easter Sunday's coming up. It's a timely story, really.
Yeah, so when Easter comes up, it'll be 19 years, then it'll be 20.
So
that's so crazy to think. Like, I'm now older than Paul was when he stabbed his wife to death. I haven't stabbed anyone to death. Like, what am I doing with my life?
You ever thought about going to visit Paul?
Oh, I wonder if he's still alive. Write him a letter.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, you know OJ? Because remember you kept talking about OJ?
All right. Well, so since you brought the story this week, I've got the feel good.
Oh, I wasn't sure if we were going to do a feel good.
We got one.
I need it.
So let's hit the music, and we'll be right back with a feel good.
Woo! Feels good.
All right. Bo Jackson, another touchdown for Bo. So this week's feel good. I mean, the stories, there's a lot to feel good about in the story. Overall, probably not. I don't know. We'll see. So, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I'm going to save his name for a second. A pilot was arrested in Oklahoma with over 102 pounds of meth.
Of meth.
of meth
Wow.
on his plane. Still, I'll hold his name for a second.
I mean, that's gonna make a lot of people feel good.
Yeah, so he was a drug runner. He was busted with a load of meth when Homeland Security agents in Tulsa were alerted by Customs and Border Protection that he and his plane were headed to the area from another state. So the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office say that he landed his plane at an airport in Jenks, Oklahoma, with 102.7 pounds of meth on board. When the deputy asked him where he flew in from, he didn't respond. When he asked a second time, he told the deputy he'd flown in from Watauga. The deputy asked if he had any drugs,
You know where
guns.
Black Panther's from?
He's from Wakanda.
Okay.
Watonga. I don't know where Watonga is from. We're at. The deputy asked if he had any guns, drugs, or bombs on the aircraft, and the guy became nervous and defensive. And he said that he was worried. He then says that he was worried that he may get his head chopped off.
Oh.
So, because whoever
He's like, I definitely don't have 102 pounds of meth. So that's what you're asking.
Watonga is a city in Blaine County, Oklahoma. So there you go. Shout out Watonga. Watonga Woats or goats, something. The deputy. So then the deputy called the Tulsa police and requested a canine unit. The canine officer conducted an open air search. When they opened the door of his plane, there was an overwhelming smell of chemicals from inside. So the guy's name, that greatest name of all time. His name is Badlands Justice McNally.
Badlands Justice McNally.
Yes, the drug smuggling pilot known as Badlands
That's a hell of a
Justice
gimmick for a
McNally.
wrestler.
Now the officer who arrested him, his name is Officer Titsworth.
Priceless.
So,
Always.
I'll show you a picture of this man.
How's that guy a pilot?
How is his name Badlands?
I don't know.
He
Badlands
looks,
McNally.
I mean, that's an Amish fella,
yeah.
if I've ever seen one.
It looks like the first time out of the basement.
He was charged, transporting.
100, so probably Mexican mafia is making him.
So, how many pounds did it say? 100 pounds?
102.
So, apparently, you can fit 102 pounds of meth in 2 duffel bags.
Huh.
So, I don't.
I thought you were going to say up your butt, and I was like, I don't think I can.
I'm willing to bet I can't.
I mean, I'll try it a couple times.
So, I mean, as soon as I heard the guy's name, it was a feel-good story for me. And then I saw that officer's name. Titsworth. I was just like, this cannot be a real...
Sounds like a movie.
The article I am reading from is, unfortunately, from the site Bro Bible. It's unfortunate. But, like, this person says, how is that not a character on Breaking Bad or Justified?
Yeah.
Just good call, because...
I was going to say, is his name Walter White?
I mean, so, hey, he was caught. There's 100 and some pounds of meth off the streets.
Out of the air?
Just feel good. Out of the air.
Was it ever on the street? Maybe he made it up there in the plane.
I'm sure this crazy son of a bitch is going to figure out a way to get out of prison.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's no way he's not. So I'm sure we're going to get more adventures of Badlands at some point. I'm looking forward to the eventual movie where John C. Reilly plays him. So yeah, that's my and then Will Ferrell can be Officer Titsworth. I'm all in on it.
That feels good.
That's a feel good. So yeah, that's all I got.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. We'll try not to miss another week. Hopefully we'll be back next week with a new story.
Yeah.
That's the plan. We're not planning on not being here. Even though it'll be...
I might move again. I don't know.
You might move again.
Yeah, we'll see.
I have the next week off.
Nice.
Going to enjoy the hell out of that. And then I start a new job. But yeah, looking forward to not having anything to do for a week. But that will give me a full week to get the new story.
Yeah.
So... really not going to be much excuses.
I half-assed it, just talked about something that happened 20 years ago.
Yeah, and I unfortunately...
didn't even write anything down.
I could just make up a time I was on the jury, probably.
Do it. You should.
And I might just do that one day. I might just make up a story completely and see if everybody buys it.
I think they will.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
But no, we'll be back next week with a real story.
Cool.
I promise.
Murder.
You'll be able to verify it by Googling it, probably. Until then, do all the things that you do. You share, you like, you tell a friend. We are even missing the week and not promoting it all. Still getting listens all the time, so we appreciate all of you guys. Yeah, it's awesome. There's people I worked with that listen to a podcast, and like I've went to their office and they've been listening to it.
That's gotta be weird.
So we've got some local supporters. We've got supporters in Australia and some other places. Yep. So we appreciate all of you. Good
night, mate.
We'll be back next week. Until then,
stay weird.